Welcome to Saunders Landscaping. As part of our ongoing commitment to safety, we have established a detailed orientation policy to get you familiar with the important aspects of our health and safety program. All the policies and procedures covered in this orientation are part of our safety manual. You are sent digital access to the safety manual through a Dropbox link along with your orientation quiz. Physical copies of the safety manual are available in your supervisor's truck and trailer and at the office. Let us begin with our company health and safety policy. We are committed to preventing the incidental loss of any of our resources, including workers and physical assets. We will provide and maintain a healthy and safe work environment in accordance with industry standards and in compliance with legislative requirements. We will strive to eliminate any foreseeable hazards which may result in property damage, incidents, and personal injury and illness, both physical and psychological. This includes social well-being. All workers, supervisors, managers, and subcontractors will be equally accountable for minimizing incidents within our work sites and facilities. Safe work practices and procedures will be clearly defined in the Saunders Landscaping Safety Manual for all to follow. Safety is the direct responsibility of all managers, supervisors, workers, and subcontractors. Safety is a shared responsibility. Everyone has responsibilities and accountabilities when it comes to health and safety. Let us review the responsibilities at each employee level. Senior management. 1. To provide funding, information, instructions, and assistance to all levels of workers to protect the health and safety of all workers, subcontractors, clients, visitors, and the general public. 2. To provide and enforce the occupational health and safety legislation, as well as incident prevention. 3. To provide all levels of staff with proper, well-maintained tools and equipment, as well as any other special personal protective devices that may be required. Access to all safety paperwork, including but not limited to job hazard assessments, safe work practices, and safe job procedures. 4. To monitor and ensure that all levels of staff are competent while performing their duties and to provide or arrange for further training if required. 5. To provide ongoing safety education programs and approved first aid training courses as required. 6. To monitor projects and hold them accountable for their individual performance. 7. To ensure that policies, practices, and procedures are reviewed annually. 8. To monitor and ensure that all subcontractors are competent and that all work performed is in a satisfactory manner. Managers. 1. To provide information, instructions, and assistance to all supervisory staff to protect the health and safety of all workers, subcontractors, visitors, clients, and the general public. 2. To understand and enforce the OH&S legislation as well as incident prevention. 3. To ensure all supervisory staff have proper, well-maintained tools and equipment as well as any other special personal protective devices that may be required. Access to all safety paperwork, including but not limited to job hazard assessments, safe work practices, and safe job procedures. 4. To provide access to ongoing safety education programs and approved first aid training courses as required. 5. To assist with monitoring of projects. 6. To assist with the monitoring and management of subcontractors and staff. 7. To ensure that policies, practices, and procedures are reviewed annually. Supervisors. 1. To know and apply the company's health and safety policy and relevant OH&S legislation. 2. To ensure that all workers are educated to work in a safe manner and they use all protective devices and procedures required by this firm and by legislation to protect their health and safety. 3. To monitor and ensure that all workers are competent while performing their daily tasks and to provide or arrange for further training if required. 4. To warn all workers of any potential or actual dangers and to advise them how to isolate, prevent, or remove such dangers. 5. To arrange for medical treatment when required in the case of injury or illness, including transportation to a doctor, OIS clinic, or hospital when necessary. 6. To report all incidents immediately, to investigate all incidents and near misses fully, and to advise management on how to prevent similar incidents in the future. 7. To carry out regular inspections of the workplace to ensure a healthy and safe work environment. 8. To report any issues that are encountered on the work site to a manager or senior manager upon discovery. Workers. 1. To read, understand, and comply with Saunders Landscaping's health and safety policies, safe work practices, procedures, and rules as outlined in the safety manual. 2. To use the safety equipment and personal protective equipment, or PPE, and clothing as required by legislation and Saunders Landscaping policy. 3. To notify their supervisor of any unsafe conditions or acts that may be of danger to other workers, themselves, or the general public. Workers have the right to refuse to perform dangerous work. 4. To report any incidents or near misses to their supervisor as soon as possible. Complete the appropriate paperwork to correspond with incidents and near misses. 5. To take every reasonable precaution to protect the safety of other workers, themselves, and the general public. Vehicle and equipment operators. 1. To read, understand, and comply with Saunders Landscaping's health and safety policy, safe work practices, procedures, and rules as outlined in the safety manual. 2. To use the safety equipment and personal protective equipment and clothing required by legislation and Saunders Landscaping policy. 3. To notify their supervisor of any unsafe conditions or acts that may be of danger to other workers, themselves, or the general public. 4. To report all incidents and near misses to their supervisor as soon as possible. Complete the appropriate paperwork to correspond with the incidents and near misses. 5. To take every reasonable precaution to protect the safety of other workers, themselves, and the general public. 6. To complete all visual or written inspections as required. 7. To report all malfunctioning, damaged, or missing equipment to their supervisor upon discovery. 8. To keep all operating licenses in good standing and report any tickets, offenses, or changes to the office immediately. It is important to remember the 3 main worker rights. 1. The right to know about health and safety matters. 2. The right to participate in decisions that could affect your health and safety. And 3. The right to refuse work that could affect your health and safety and that of others. In the commercial landscape industry, we can encounter a wide range of hazards that can directly affect our health and safety. The purpose of our hazard assessment policy is to minimize injury to workers by identifying hazards and implementing proper corrective actions and measures. Our hazard assessment process consists of the following components. The daily hazard assessment policy. It is the policy of Saunders Landscaping to complete a field-level hazard assessment form at the beginning of each day and to review it after lunch upon the startup of a new project or when conditions on site change. Changes could include weather, new equipment, or another trade arriving. Daily hazard assessments are also completed when work is conducted on a temporary mobile work site, workers are conducting activities at a work site not owned by Saunders Landscaping, and a new activity has been temporarily introduced to a work site. Formal hazard assessment policy. It is the policy of Saunders Landscaping to create job hazard analysis, JHAs, safe work practices, SWPs, and safe job procedures, SJPs, when new operations, work processes, equipment, materials, or products are introduced, and when new tasks are identified from employee input. It is our policy to review JHAs, SWPs, and SJPs annually or when operations, work-related processes, or equipment are modified, and when daily hazard assessments, inspections, or investigations identify a previously unrecognized hazard. Changes to JHAs, SWPs, and SJPs are communicated to employees in safety meetings, safety bulletins, and toolbox meetings. Let us review the differences between the 3 formal hazard assessment components. JHAs. They specifically provide the sequence of steps, identify the hazards, rank the priorities, provide recommended actions and controls, and assign responsibilities at the task level. SWPs provide a list of the general do's and don'ts for completing a task. SJPs provide a step-by-step procedure of how to complete a task under normal and ideal circumstances. The work we do covers a wide range of activities. Your supervisor will provide training and instruction on it as you go. This way you can be monitored to ensure that you have understood and are working in a safe and productive manner. Be sure to refer to the above administrative tools when required. Copies of all the JHAs, SWPs, and SJPs can be found in the safety manual. We have introduced a set of general rules for all to follow. These are mandatory to ensure the health and safety of yourself and all of those around you. 1. Employees must perform all tasks and operate equipment as per the safe work practices, safe job procedures, job hazard analysis, company policy, and government legislation and regulations. 2. Employees must wear the appropriate PPE when and where required. This includes personal attire of long pants and a shirt that covers your shoulders, no tank tops or shorts. 3. Employees must arrive on time and fit for duty on site. They must stay on site until their shift is over unless otherwise authorized by supervisor. 4. If an employee is going to be late or unable to show up to a scheduled shift, they must inform their supervisor or the office as soon as possible. All absences and tardiness will be dealt with at the discretion of the supervisor and management. If applicable, documentation, such as a doctor's note, may be required to excuse the absence. 5. Cell phones are to be used only on your scheduled breaks unless for work purposes or emergencies. 6. Employees are required to follow the instructions given by their supervisor. Employees have the right to refuse a task if it is not safe to perform. 7. Employees must maintain good housekeeping in their work area and company equipment, for example, machines, trailers, and vehicles. 8. All incidents, injuries, and near misses must be reported to your supervisor immediately. 9. Only authorized personnel shall drive company vehicles, and they will operate the vehicle in accordance with the company's vehicle use agreement. Violations of the general rules will be dealt with at the discretion of Saunders Landscaping Management. Documentation is required at each step. Step 1, 1 verbal warning. Step 2, 2 written warnings. Step 3, dismissal or termination. Please note there is a minimum of a 3-month probationary period of continuous employment for all new employees. The 3-warning system is not required until after the probationary period has been completed. In addition to our general rules, there are certain rules that cannot be ignored. When these rules are broken, they present an immediate and severe danger to others. Because of this, a zero tolerance has been put in place. Anyone found violating the absolute rules may face suspension or immediate termination. The rules are as follows. 1. Possession or consumption of alcohol and unauthorized drugs. Unauthorized drugs include prescription drugs that cause impairment that were not disclosed to management. 2. Theft and vandalism. 3. Workplace violence, harassment, or discrimination. 4. Any severe safety infraction. This includes anything that causes an immediate or severe danger to others, including unsecured equipment or trailers. 5. Defiance of authority. The refusal to obey the instructions of your supervisor. 6. Not showing up to your shift fit to work with no notice or communication. Harassment and violence policy. As part of our commitment to a healthy, harassment and violence-free work environment, we have put into place a harassment and violence policy. Violent behavior or the threat of violence and harassment of any sort is unacceptable for anyone. In support of this policy, we have put in place prevention procedures. Everyone is obligated to uphold this policy and to work together to prevent workplace harassment and violence. We will investigate all incidents of harassment and violence and take corrective actions to address them. We will not disclose the circumstances related to the incident or the names of the parties involved, except when necessary. Results and corrective actions will be communicated to those involved. Workplace harassment is defined as any single or repeated incident or objectable or unwelcomed conduct, comment, bullying, or action by a person that knows or ought to know will or would cause offense, humiliation, and or adverse effect to the health and safety of a worker. This includes conduct, comment, bullying, or action because of race, religious belief, color, physical disability, mental disability, age, ancestry, place of origin, marital status, source of income, family status, gender, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, or a sexual solicitation or advance. Workplace violence is defined by the threatened, attempted, or actual conduct of a person that causes or is likely to cause physical or psychological injury or harm. This includes domestic and sexual violence. If you find yourself a victim of harassment or violence, follow these procedures. Number 1, tell the harasser or the aggressor that their behavior is unwelcome and ask them to stop. 2, keep a record of incidents, including the date, times, locations, possible witnesses, what happened, and your response. Note, you do not need to have a record of events in order to make a complaint. However, a record can strengthen your case and help you remember details over time. Number 3, if the behavior continues, make a complaint to Human Resources. Please note, you also have the right to contact the Alberta Human Rights Commission to make a complaint, and you can report any incident of assault to the police. Harassment and Violence Investigation Policy. Once a complaint has been made to Saunders Landscaping, we will 1. Begin investigation immediately, keeping details confidential. 2. Interview all involved. This will include the complainant, the alleged aggressor, and witnesses. Number 3. If investigation reveals evidence to support the claim, the aggressor will be disciplined appropriately. Discipline may include suspension or dismissal, and the incident will be documented in their file. Number 4. If no evidence is found to support the complaint, there will be no documentation concerning the incident placed in the aggressor's file. Number 5. Regardless of the outcome, all involved in the alleged incident will be protected from any form of retaliation by either coworkers or supervisors. This includes dismissal, demotion, unwanted transfer, or denial of opportunities within the company. Supervisors will adhere to this policy and supporting procedures. They are responsible for ensuring that measures and procedures are followed by workers and that they have the information needed to protect themselves. All workers must work in compliance with this policy and supporting procedures. They are required to take immediate and appropriate action to report or deal with incidents of harassment and violence, whether brought to their attention or personally observed. Personal Protective Equipment Policy. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is our last line of defense. It is important that all personnel follow the guidelines set out in our policy with no exceptions. Individuals of this company shall wear the following at all times: long pants, no shorts; acceptable shirts, no sleeveless; CSA-approved steel-toed boots; CSA-approved hard hat; safety vest. The following equipment may be required if certain hazards are present or they are required by the general contractor: CSA-approved safety glasses, hearing protection, gloves, mask or face shield, fall protection, sun protection, SPF of 15 or greater. It is the responsibility of the worker to supply their own clothing, gloves, hard hat, and steel-toed boots. Saunders Landscaping will provide safety vests, safety glasses, earplugs, masks, and face shields. In addition, specialty PPE such as fall arrest equipment will be provided by Saunders Landscaping. The PPE that's required on each site will be reviewed on the site-specific field-level hazard assessment. Please note that as part of the hazard assessment process, you must visually inspect your PPE on a daily basis. The following slides will go over how to select, care for, and maintain our PPE. This includes hard hats, steel-toed boots, eye protection, and hearing protection. For more information on selecting, caring for, and maintaining our PPE, please refer to the safety manual. Hard hats. Hard hats can be either of the two available types. Type 1, certified to reduce the impact of blows to the crown or top of head. Type 2, cushion impacts from top of head and lateral side impact. Hard hats are also available to withstand varying electric currents. For what we do, any class will work. When choosing a hard hat, note the amount of suspension points, typically 4, 6, or 8. The more suspension points the hard hat has, the greater the hard hat's ability to spread out the force of an impact and reduce the risk of injury. Different brands will have different options to help sell their product. This could include ventilation to keep your head cool, lightweight material, terry cloth or vinyl brow pads to absorb sweat, or a wide or full brim to provide additional protection against the sun. Always remember to wear your hard hat correctly. This is the only way to maximize the protection it provides. Adjust the headband size so the hat will stay on when you bend over, but not so tight that it will leave a mark on your forehead. Always wear the hard hat the correct way, not backwards, unless specifically designed to be able to be worn backwards. Do not wear baseball caps, etc. under the hat. Do not store anything inside your hard hat. Use only earmuffs or face shields that are designed for use with your hard hat. To get the most out of your head protection, proper care and maintenance is required. This can be found in the manufacturer's handout that you receive when you purchase your headwear. Some general rules are: keep it clean and free of solvents, paints, adhesives, grease, and oil. Wash with mild detergent and rinse thoroughly. Don't leave it on the dashboard or the back window of your vehicle. Replace if headgear is pitted, holed, cracked, or brittle. Replace once it has been subjected to a blow, even if damage is not visible. Inspect before each use and remove it from service if there are any doubts about its physical integrity. Do not drill, remove peaks, or alter the shell or suspension in any way. Steel-toed boots. When selecting steel-toed boots, be sure to consider the hazards of the work site. All footwear must meet the Canadian Standard Association, or CSA. A few tips to consider when making your choice. Wear the socks or liners that you will wear on the job. Walk in the new boots to test the comfort level. There should be plenty of toe room, 12.5 millimeters. When laced, footwear should be snug around your heels and ankles. Boots with a 6-inch shank are preferred as they provide better protection. When wearing your boots, always lace them fully. Inspect before each use and remove from service if there is any doubt about physical integrity. Never jump off equipment or trucks. To ensure the longevity of your footwear, apply protective water-resistant spray or coating and reapply monthly. Clean off any road salt or mud. Remove any metal pieces that have become stuck in the soles. Replace if toe suffers an impact. Replace if tread pattern is eroded by wear. Eye protection. Saunders Landscaping will provide safety glasses that meet the CSA Z94.3 standard and protect against UVA and UVB rays. Please note that these glasses may or may not fit over prescription lenses and that they are not shaded. If you require either of these features, you may purchase them on your own. Please note that prescription glasses or contact lenses are not an acceptable form of eye protection. To use and care for your eye protection, remember to inspect prior to use, replace if lenses or frames are scratched, bent, or damaged, apply anti-fog spray or an anti-fog wipe if required, clean daily following the manufacturer's instructions, keep in a case while not in use or in a clean and dry place. Hearing protection. We will provide all workers with earplugs if required. If inserted properly, earplugs can reduce decibel levels by 32. Instructions for proper insertion are located on the packaging. They are as follows. Roll the earplug between 2 fingers and squish it down. Reach one hand around the back of your head. Pull ear upwards to straighten the S-shaped ear canal. Insert the earplug into the ear canal. Gently push it until snug. Earplugs should be replaced every few days. To extend the life of them, be sure to wash them daily with warm water and mild soap and store in a clean, dry place. For further information on the selection, care, and use of PPE, please review the PPE training document located in the safety manual and present in the Dropbox folder. This document also contains information on face masks, respiratory protection, and hand protection. We will maintain all tools, vehicles, and equipment in a condition that will maximize the safety of all personnel as per legislative requirements and manufacturer specifications. Managers and supervisors shall ensure that all preventative maintenance is carried out by qualified personnel according to established schedules and that records are maintained. All employees shall regularly check all tools, vehicles, and equipment they are working with, and shall take out of service any tools, vehicles, or equipment that pose a hazard. Our policies for inspection are as follows. Vehicles and trailers require a written inspection once a month. Heavy equipment, such as skid steers and mini excavators, require a written inspection once a week. Light equipment, this includes all corded tools and all saws, require a written inspection once a week. Miscellaneous items such as hand tools and battery-powered drills only require visual inspection. Tagging procedure. Saunders Landscaping has developed a tagging procedure to reduce the risk of incidents and injuries involving broken or defective equipment and tools. To achieve this goal, the cooperation from all levels of personnel is required. A process of danger tags will be used. The tagging procedure is as follows. 1. Inspect all tools, equipment prior to use visually and ensure the written inspection has been completed as per schedule. 2. If any defects are found, notify your supervisor. 3. Place a danger tag on the tool or piece of equipment. 4. Write down the noted defect on the danger tag. 5. Remove the defective item from service. 6. The supervisor will ensure the appropriate technician repairs the item. 7. Once repaired, the danger tag will be removed. Do not use any tool or piece of equipment that has a danger tag on it. Our training policy is as follows. In order to make our health and safety program a success, training and communication are key. We will provide and ensure that all workers participate in the following. Health and safety orientations for newly hired personnel prior to beginning work on site. Workplace hazardous materials, information systems, or WHMIS site-specific training. Health and safety training for supervisors and management. Hazard assessment and control processes. First aid training for supervisors and key personnel. Job-specific training as required, refresher and update training as required. The health and safety orientation and WHMIS refresher training will be completed annually. The Construction Safety Training System, CSTS, is recommended for all personnel. It is not required unless specified by the prime contractor. We pride ourselves on our in-house training that is offered to employees at all levels. We use on-the-job training, demonstrations, and courses to teach our staff the required skills to complete tasks safely. Health and safety meetings involving all workers will be held biannually in May and October, as we are a seasonal company. As safety is a group effort, we value and encourage two-way communication at these meetings. We also provide a monthly safety bulletin to all workers, discussing the past month's changes, incidents, and other topics. as well as an annual safety survey to address any concerns that may have been missed and to help with the annual review of the safety program. The purpose of the inspection policy is to control the loss of human and material resources by identifying and correcting unsafe acts and conditions. We will maintain a comprehensive program of health and safety inspections at all facilities and job sites. Inspection responsibilities. Senior managers are responsible for the overall operation of the program. This includes a review of monthly, quarterly, and annual health and safety activity summary forms. Managers are responsible for the overall operation of the program. They will review all daily hazard assessments, site inspections, and complete the monthly, quarterly, and annual health and safety activity summary forms. Supervisors are responsible for controlling the ongoing formal and informal inspections of areas where their crews are working, signing off on daily hazard assessments, toolbox meetings, and site inspections. Workers and operators are responsible for participating in and contributing to the inspection program. This includes signing off on daily hazard assessments and toolbox meetings. Site inspections and toolbox meetings will be held weekly per crew. Two-way communication is also encouraged at these times. Everyone has a different risk tolerance level. What may seem hazardous to one person may seem harmless to another. It's important to have different perspectives on safety on the job site. It is the policy of Saunders Landscaping to investigate incidents so that causes can be determined and corrective actions can be implemented to prevent reoccurrence. The following types of incidents shall be fully investigated. 1. Incidents that result in injuries requiring medical aid. 2. Incidents that cause property or equipment damage or interrupt operations with potential loss. 3. Incidents that have the potential to result in one or two above, such as close calls or near misses. 4. Incidents that involve occupational illness or work refusals. All incidents, as per the most current OH&S Act, must be reported to OH&S and to WCB or other regulatory agencies as defined by the OH&S Act. A near miss is an unplanned event that did not result in injury, illness, or damage, but had the potential to do so. These should be reported on monthly near miss forms. These instances are reviewed and could result in policy or procedure changes. There are many times an incident will occur that doesn't fall under the near miss category, but also is not a serious incident. These incidents do not involve any first aid, medical assistance, lost time, property damage, or violence, harassment. For example, a banged finger or a trip or fall that did not result in injury. When these occur, a simplified investigation can be completed on the minor incident investigation report form. Investigation responsibilities. 1. All workers and operators shall report all incidents as soon as possible to their immediate supervisor and assist in the investigation when requested. 2. Supervisors shall contact Saunders management as soon as possible when an incident occurs, conduct the initial investigation, and submit their report to management promptly. 3. Management shall determine the need for, and if necessary, shall direct detailed investigations. They shall also identify root causes, recommended corrective actions, and ensure corrective actions are implemented. Managers will also review near-miss forms. Senior management will review all incident investigations. These investigations will be discussed at toolbox meetings and communicated through the monthly safety bulletin. Emergency response policy. We believe that a safely oriented company is prepared for any emergency. Each site will have a site-specific rescue and evacuation plan. In most instances on commercial projects, the prime contractor will have an emergency response plan, ERP, developed, and it will be communicated or reviewed at the site orientation. This will include information such as the location of air horns, first aid kits, first aid stations, fire extinguishers, and designated first aiders. For sites that do not have a plan, a site-specific ERP will be developed by a Saunders Landscaping representative, which will be reviewed and signed off by all employees on site. Emergency response plans are also discussed in toolbox meetings and daily hazard assessments. The muster point on most commercial sites will be labeled clearly and should be identified on the daily hazard assessment form. If there is no muster point identified on site, then the muster point will be the company, trailer, or truck on site. Emergency equipment located in trailers includes first aid kit, fire extinguisher, spill kit, eye wash station or bottle, air horn, OH&S book, SDS book, safety manual. Emergency equipment located in company vehicles includes first aid kit, fire extinguisher, spill kit, and safety manual. When you arrive on site, ensure that you familiarize yourself with the location of all emergency response items. All workers are to be aware of the actions required in the emergency response plans, but in the event of an emergency, they should follow the instructions of the manager or supervisor on site. In the following slides, we will review all our ERPs, which include medical emergency, evacuation, fire, chemical spill, equipment upset, motor vehicle accident, and underground utilities. Medical emergency ERP. Blow air horn 3 times in short blasts for man down when on commercial construction sites. Air horns are located in various locations on site or in the company truck or trailer. If immediate care is required, call 911. Once medical care is on the way, notify your supervisor of the situation. This may include sending another worker to inform them. 3. If injury is less severe, locate a first aider on site. There is a list in each company trailer and the office of certified first aiders, and they are also identifiable with a sticker on their hard hat. Assist the certified first aider as instructed. First aid materials are located in company trailers and vehicles. If it is an injury that requires medical attention but not an ambulance, your supervisor will arrange transportation to the nearest hospital or OIS clinic. Do not assume a person is not injured if you are not 100% positive. Take them to the hospital. Consider that injuries that may not look severe at first could develop into larger issues. For example, concussions and burns can take time to appear. Immediate care is very important and treatment should not be delayed. 4. Make sure your site super and/or the office is notified so proper investigations and documentation can be completed, as well as the proper people and authorities can be notified. Evacuation ERP. 1. Sound air horn to ensure all on site have heard. 1 long blast is the signal for an evacuation. All workers are to leave the site upon hearing the evacuation signal and assemble at the designated muster point. Do not go to your own vehicle or leave the muster point. If not specified during site orientation, the muster point is your supervisor's truck or trailer. 3. The supervisor will take a roll call to ensure that all workers are present and accounted for. 4. The supervisor will report the results of the roll call to management or the prime contractor as required in the site safety plan. 5. The site supervisor shall determine if the site is safe to reoccupy following an evacuation. No one is to enter the site without authorization. Fire ERP. The first step is to assess the size of the fire and follow the following instructions depending on the fire's size and its ability to be contained. If the fire cannot be contained, follow the following steps. 1. Call 911. 2. Be sure all personnel on site are aware of the location of the fire. 3. Evacuate and meet at the designated muster point. 4. Supervisor will conduct attendance to ensure all employees have been evacuated. If the fire can be contained, step number 1. Be sure all personnel nearby are aware of the location of the fire. 2. Get a fire extinguisher. Make sure it is the correct class for the fire at hand. Fire extinguishers are located in company vehicles and trailers, as well as various locations on site. Class A are for ordinary combustibles: wood, cloth, paper, rubber, and some plastics. Class B are for ordinary flammable or combustible liquids, greases, and gases, such as gasoline, oil, paint, natural, and propane gases. Class C are usually a Class A or B with energized electrical equipment, wiring, or electrical appliances. 3. Holding the extinguisher in an upright position, bring it to the location of the fire. 4. Holding the hose or horn firmly and maintaining control of the extinguisher, pull the pin and aim at the base of the fire. 5. Use the extinguisher in a rapid sweeping motion while staying a safe distance away from the fire. 6. Report the use of the fire extinguisher to your supervisor immediately so it can be recharged and documented properly. Chemical spill ERP. The first step is to assess the size of the spill and follow the corresponding instructions. If a spill has occurred in a lesser amount but is causing adverse effects to the environment, or if the chemicals were spilled into the surface or groundwater, follow the procedure for a large spill. When a large chemical spill has occurred, this means it's larger than 200 liters or 44 gallons. The first step is to stop the leak, if it's safe to do so. 2. Eliminate all ignition sources, including lighters, cigarettes, and sparks. 3. Alert other site personnel in the immediate area, notify your supervisor, and contact the site super and/or the office. Attend to injured personnel and call the medical emergency number 911 if required. 4. Contain the spill with the available equipment if safe to do so. For example, pads, spill kit, absorbent powder, dike, etc. Spill kits are located in the company vehicle and trailer. 5. Secure the area with caution tape or cones to prevent other personnel from entering. 6. Report the spill to the Alberta Environment. 1-800-222-6514. 7. Call a local spill cleanup company or the fire department if arrangements have been made to perform a large chemical cleanup. 8. Evacuate the building or the worksite if necessary. When a small chemical spill has occurred, the first step is to stop the leak, if it's safe to do so. 2. Eliminate all ignition sources, including lighters, cigarettes, and sparks. 3. Alert other site personnel in the immediate area and notify your supervisor and contact the site super and/or the office. 4. Contain the spill with available equipment if safe to do so, for example, pads, spill kit, absorbent powder, etc. 5. Alert other site personnel if required. 6. Deal with the spill in accordance with the instructions described on the SDS. Work up point of the spill if safe to do so. The SDS book is located in the company vehicle and trailer. For example, small spills must be handled in a safe manner while wearing the appropriate PPE. For spills on floors, pavement, concrete, or asphalt, absorb the spill with a spill kit or material such as sand or clay. For spills on soil, excavate the contaminated soil. Place the contaminated spill material in a non-leaking container for disposal. Flush the area with water to remove trace residue, and dispose of the contaminated materials at a hazardous waste depot. Step number 7 would be to contact the office to replace the spill kit if it was used and to submit an incident report. Equipment upset ERP. If the machine does tip over or roll over, it is important to assess the situation to determine how to proceed. Are you able to right yourself using the arm and attachment? If you cannot, are you able to remove your safety harness without causing yourself injury? Are you able to safely exit the machine using the door or the emergency exit? If you can exit the machine safely, the first step is to 1. Shut off the machine. 2. Exit the machine. 3. Let your supervisor know the situation to have the machine turned right side up. 4. If there's a chemical leak or fire, follow the required procedures. 5. Ensure the incident report is filled out. If you are unable to exit the machine safely, and if the danger is imminent or severe, number 1. Call 911. 2. Contact your supervisor to inform them of the situation. 3. If there is a chemical leak or fire, follow the required procedures. 4. Ensure an incident report is filled out. If the danger is not immediate or severe, the first step is to contact your supervisor to inform them of the situation. 2. Your supervisor will evaluate the situation and advise on the next course of action. 3. If there's a chemical leak or fire, follow the required procedures. And 4. Ensure an incident report is filled out. Motor vehicle accident ERP. If you are in a motor vehicle accident while driving any vehicle, company owned or not, please follow these instructions. If possible, move the vehicle out of traffic. Conduct a self-assessment. Are you injured? Have the airbags been deployed? Check any passengers in your vehicle. Are they injured? If you or your passengers are injured, proceed to instructions below. If you and your passengers are not injured, cautiously exit the vehicle. Be sure to take your time and make sure there are no dangers to yourself outside the vehicle prior to exiting. Never exit into traffic without looking for traffic coming from both directions, checking your mirrors as well as a shoulder check. Check on the occupants of the other vehicle and follow the appropriate steps below. With injury or significant vehicle damage or airbag deployment, follow the following steps. 1. Call 911. 2. Only if life-threatening hazard exists are you to move any injured person. 3. Set up hazard triangles or cones around the accident, located in your company vehicle or trailer. 4. Follow all the instructions from emergency personnel. 5. Phone the office. 6. If you are in the possession of a camera, take pictures to document the incident. 7. Fill out the incident report. Get the witness statements if there are any available. 8. If a police report is filed or there is any other documentation from the accident, ensure the information is provided to the office. If you are in a motor vehicle accident without injury, the first step is to set up a hazard triangle or cones if required. They should be located in your company vehicle or trailer. 2. Exchange the information with the driver of the other vehicle, if applicable, such as the name of the company and/or the driver, the address of the company and/or the driver, the name, address, and phone number of the insurance company, the insurance policy number, the driver's license number, the vehicle registration number, and the location of the accident. 3. If the accident damages exceed $2,000 to a vehicle, the collision must be reported to the police. Or if the accident involves any type of property damage, ensure the proper authorities and the property owners or the site super are notified. 4. Phone the office. 5. If you are in possession of a camera, take pictures documenting the incident. 6. Fill out the incident report. Get witness statements if there are any available. 7. If a police report is filed or there is any other documentation from the accident, ensure the information is provided to the office. Underground Utilities ERP. If damage occurs to an underground utility, follow these instructions. 1. Stop work immediately. 2. If injury has occurred, call 911. 3. Shut off all equipment and vehicles in the immediate area. 4. Leave the work area and secure it from the public and other workers. Follow the evacuation procedure. 5. Call the appropriate provider, for example, NMAX or ATCO Gas. 6. Follow the instructions from NMAX or the ATCO Gas representative. 7. Ensure all on site are aware of the situation. Advise and keep the prime contractor updated. 8. Report the situation to the office. Please note that you should always assume that all power and gas facilities are active and charged and/or alive. Health and Safety Committee, or HSC. A Health and Safety Committee is required when you have 20 or more employees working for 90 days or more. They do not have to be working all together or on one site. On average, we have more than 20 employees throughout the year. Therefore, Saunders Landscaping has established a Health and Safety Committee policy. The purpose of the policy is to 1. Create and maintain an active interest in health and safety. 2. Discuss and recommend effective actions to prevent workplace incidents. 3. Promote an awareness of health and safety issues and an atmosphere of cooperation between management, supervisors, and workers. 4. Help in identifying problems, formulating policy and procedures, monitoring and improving workplace health and safety. And 5. Support the 3 basic worker rights: the right to know, the right to participate, and the right to refuse dangerous work. We will ensure, as far as it is reasonably practical to do so, that health and safety concerns raised by workers and supervisors and the HSC or HS representative are resolved in a timely manner. Please note that copies of all our policies and rules will be posted in company trailers and at the office. The information in all our policies does not take precedence over applicable government legislation with which all employees should be familiar. Saunders Landscaping is proud to offer a company-wide crew award competition that is awarded in the months of April through to November. Aspects that are reviewed to determine the monthly winner include safety paperwork being completed properly and as per schedule, job performance, which includes tasks being completed on schedule and meeting or exceeding expectations, employees arriving on time with no unexcused absences, timesheets completed properly, cleanliness of the work site and trailers, equipment being respected and maintained properly. Please complete the employee orientation quiz. You must receive 80% or higher to be certified as trained. If you receive below 80% on your first attempt, please rewatch the video and attempt the quiz again until you receive a passing grade. If you have any questions, concerns, or require further information, please contact the office via email at office@saunderslandscaping.ca or by phone at 403-272-5013.